Hey traders, Akil here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to share with you a quick lesson on trading and also update you on how my trading has been. Now, June has been somewhat of a slow month. We started off with some pretty good action on the first week, and then really the last 10 days, or really for the better part of the last 2 weeks, we've seen a lot of high impact fundamental events in the market, which has really slowed down the amount of interest I've had and the amount of opportunities that I've taken. However, last week I did take 4 trades, 3 of which were on my favorite pair of the year. The pound dollar. And of course, if you've been following my journey this year, you know exactly the relationship that the pound dollar and I have. And if you haven't followed my journey, if you're new to the channel, welcome, by the way. Feel free to subscribe. That way you don't miss the rest of my journey. And make sure you go back and check the videos and stay updated and get yourself educated as well. Now, despite having going 1 for 4 this week, I did end the week with a very good trade, and that's what I want to show you today. And although that trade did not put me into profit for the week, I still had a negative week. It turned, or it helped to turn, which could have been a big hit, a big drawdown for the week, into something a lot more manageable. And that's really the message that I preach with the traders that I work with. There's nothing wrong with losing, right? We all know, or maybe if you're newer and you've only seen most of the stuff that people share on the internet, you don't know this, but the reality of trading is that all traders go through losses. All traders go through drawdowns. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter your system. At some point, you're gonna have a time where your system stops printing profit and starts to correct a little bit. And that's okay. The main difference between struggling traders and successful traders is that struggling traders tend to panic when that happens. They think something's wrong and they have to go and fix something, right? It's amazing. They can have a system that's been working for a year, and then they get 1 month where it takes a little bit of a hit. It ventures into a rough period, and then they're quick to ditch their system. They're quick to change this and change that. They're so quick to panic, and it's like they forget about the entire 12 months of profit printing because that 1 little month or that 1 little week, whatever I just said, bothers them. Another rant for another time, but essentially what I was saying, is that the difference between struggling and successful traders is that struggling traders tend to try to change something and ditch their system, and then they change something just by the time their old system starts to work again. While successful traders, they know how to deal with and manage the drawdown. They know that it's not the end of the world, and they know how to not make things worse. And then this was a good example today on this trade of how it was a rough week, but you stick to the plan, you stick to the process, you take the trades you're supposed to take. And although it wasn't a positive week, right, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, which kept my pullback shallower than what it could have been, which means my extension is going to be further up for you guys that are into looking at your equity curve like a price chart. Anyway, this is unscripted, so I'm just rambling along. Let me show you guys the trade of the week, and then I'm going to come back and give you guys 2 lessons about it. Now let's move on to another pair. Let's see what we want to do here. Let's go on to, what did I want to talk about? Aussie dollar. Was it Aussie dollar? No. Aussie Canada. Aussie Canada here, we have a head and shoulders bottom, right? For you guys that took the head and shoulders course, this should be fresh in your mind right now, but we have our left shoulder right here. We have our head down there. We have our right shoulder right here, and we have a pretty horizontal neckline. Technically, it's slanted a little bit in the direction that we want to see it slanted, but basically a horizontal neckline here. And a head and shoulders pattern, what you're expecting is a break up to the upside. This is kind of a pattern formation that basically represents a change in trend. So we had a move in one direction. You can see we've been working our way down here on the Aussie Canada. And then the trend has dried up and we're looking for a reversal back up. And if we do go up, we're likely to come up to these levels right here. These 98.75s and even possibly higher up to the highs of like the 99 evens. But if we zoom in a little bit on this chart here, you can see we have sort of the same deal starting. And for you guys that trade the London session, you'll probably get a clearer view of this in the morning. And what we're doing is we're starting to consolidate near previous structure highs. So if we look at our neckline here and look at it as more of a zone than just a line, you can see previous structure resistance, 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 right? You can also see that recently as we're testing this level, right? Here's our right shoulder. We look at a move up, we retrace, right? Higher lows right there. We move up to essentially the same level. We'll see how this candle goes right now. It's still forming. Obviously, it'll be done in about 4 minutes. But if we say stay and hold right here and then retrace again, or if we retrace right here and then extend up and retest that level again, well, then we're going to have, bada boom, bada bing, another ascending triangle, which is a breakout pattern. And what we're doing is we're essentially putting 2 and 2 together. We have a head and shoulders pattern setting up, which we would expect to break to the upside, right? This is whole that in identify, predict, decide, execute. We identify a specific pattern formation, head and shoulders. We can make a prediction because we know what that pattern formation tells us. And now we're basically getting the same thing, just in a different pattern formation. So we're getting the signal from an ascending triangle plus the signal from a head and shoulders bottom, which are both telling us potential breakout to the upside, potential breakout to the upside, potential breakout to the upside. So something to keep an eye on as well, especially for you guys that play the actual breakout of the neckline. Now, real quick, if we were going to go to the daily, just for you guys that are in love with candlesticks, I believe it was this. So you can see pretty decent trade, and there really are 2 lessons that I want you to take from this trade, and it's skill and experience, and those are 2 things that are going to go a very long way in making you a consistently profitable trader. And why I always say the word consistently profitable versus profitable piggybacks on what I talked about earlier. It's very easy for a trader to get lucky, catch a hot streak, and have a first good week in the markets, a first good month in the markets. But many of those traders burn out. Most of those traders that start off hot, they get overconfident, they start making mistakes, they ditch their old system, they fall into the trap of any one of the 100 of mistakes that newer traders make out there, and then they eventually bleed their accounts out and go to the next get rich quick scheme. Consistently profitable traders, maybe they don't have that sexy period where they're making money hand over fist at the beginning, but they're slowly getting better each and every day, each and every week, each and every month. And those are the traders that are going to make it in the long term. Those are the traders that are going to be able to successfully trade for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and then pass that skill down to their granddaughter, their grandson, their son, their daughter, their cousins, whoever, and then allow them to continue to go along that path of making consistent profit and really start generating some generational wealth, which is pretty cool. But the process takes time, and 2 things that you need in order to kind of figure out trades like the one I just showed you are skill and experience. Obviously, you need the skill. You need to know what you're looking for. You need to practice, right? Seeing it over and over again so that you can actually identify it in the markets. And you also need the experience. And what I mean by experience is the small things that you guys don't often see, right? Trading isn't just about waking up, wiping the sleep out of your eyes, and pushing buttons and getting involved in the market. There's a massive amount of behind the scenes work that you guys don't see. And I'm talking about, we can talk about building your strategy and the amount of time that takes, building it and tweaking it and testing it and going back and tweaking it again. But even stuff like reviewing your trades after each and every trading day, reviewing the trades that you took. Even if you didn't take any trades, making the habit of going into the charts and investing an hour in building your skill by scrolling through random charts and just looking for opportunities and training your eyes to see the markets. And a lot of that dirty work doesn't pay off at first, but trust me, it does down the line because it gives you the slightest bit of edge, like in this video, where we were able to see a smaller pattern formation inside a bigger pattern formation. And that was the slight edge that we needed to take advantage of a very good move, right? It brings me back to my football days. I remember when I started playing football at college, I had some really good coaches and we watched a lot of film every day, film on our opponents. And by watching so much film, we were able to pick out very small tendencies. And I was a wide receiver, so when I would line up, I would have to read the secondary, the person guarding me, and then all the rest of the defensive backs. And I remember finding small little tendencies, like if the safety is 8 yards away from the line of scrimmage, he's probably playing this type of coverage. If he's 12 yards back, he's probably playing this type of coverage. If the cornerback, right, the guy who's guarding me, if his hips are directly towards me, it means he's playing man-to-man. If his hips are slanted a little bit, it means he's playing zone. And you get to the line of scrimmage, right? You can imagine the fans are yelling and the quarterback's shooting all these audibles, and you have about 5 seconds to decipher all of this. It's very similar to trading because, unless you're a swing trader, you don't really have a lot of time to do your analysis. You got to kind of know what you're looking for and then be able to identify it quickly. But I remember lining up at the line of scrimmage and we're looking at him, okay, hips open, 8 feet, 8 feet. What does that mean? Then boom, if then, right? You make a decision. And if you can identify that slight edge in the market, boom, who knows? Maybe you bust open and get a big play. You audible. If you're quarterback, you get a touchdown pass. And then you go back to the drawing board where you have play after play after play of maybe where you only gain a few yards. But it's that one score that matters. And in trading, it's the same way. It's finding one good trade at a time. And if you can do that, you're going to be able to boost your equity curve to those new equity highs, survive the rough periods, and then continue making new equity highs the next time you find those big trades. So pretty cool lessons. I hope you guys enjoyed. Do me a favor. Let me know how your trading week was. We do this on our Tier 1 chat a lot, but I know on YouTube it's a different feel. But I like to think of you YouTube members as a community as well. So my trading week was bad. Wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it was in the negative. Maybe bad is the wrong word. It was good because I took all good trades, but it was negative. But let me know below how your trading week was. Let me know if it was great, made a lot of pips, if you lost a lot of pips, if you took all good trades, if you made some mistakes, what those mistakes were. Believe it or not, but we have 39,000 traders subscribed to this YouTube channel, and they do read the comments. So when you guys post stuff, just don't think it's for me to read. I do read each and every one of them, but it's also for the entire community as well. And sometimes your words can have a very powerful impact on another trader, and that's what we want to do as a whole, pay it forward. So leave a comment. Of course, if you're new, subscribe, go back and watch some videos. And guys, every time you share this video, every time you hit that like button, it is a massive help. So keep it up. We're close to 40,000. I want to get to 50,000 before the end of the year, and only you guys can make that happen for me. So until next time, plan your trade, trade your plan. Tier 1 members and Tier 1 premium members, I'll see you in the Q&A on Monday. Tier 1 trial members, I'll see you in the live room on Tuesday. And hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend.